Hi! My name is Ida, and in this video I will show you my top 10 albums of 2020 that I bought on vinyl. So it's kind of a combined vinyl collection and my top music of the year video. This will be the third year that I make a video like this, and it's actually one of my favorite videos to make. So I've been keeping a list throughout the year. This year has been hard in many ways, of course, but I think it's been hard to find my top 10 list because there has been so many good releases this year. And also I've been buying a lot of vinyl because I've kind of spent all of my concert money on vinyl and merch since I can't go to concerts. But it's a good way of supporting artists and bands that I like, I guess. Before we get into the list, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel because I post music content every week and you might like it. And I will also link the videos for my top 10 albums of 2018 and 2019 in the description box below in case you want to check it out. Yeah. Okay, so the first album is actually like a bonus album, number 11 or something, that I don't have on vinyl because it hasn't come out on vinyl yet. I hope that it will, but that is Miley Cyrus' Plastic Hearts. I feel like I had to include that because Midnight Sky is actually my most heard song of 2020. It says something about 2020 and me just trying to get my mood up, but I sometimes get really hung up on one song and I will just listen to that on repeat, and it's a good vibe. But when the full album came out, I absolutely loved it. I love the whole 80s thing, and she has Billy Idol, so can't go wrong with that. And also she has Stevie Nicks on a special remake of Midnight Sky, which is like a mashup of Midnight Sky and Edge of 17. And Edge of 17 was also a song that I had hung up on a couple of years ago. So when I realized that those two songs were mushed together, I almost got sentimental. It felt like 2020 me and me a few years ago were just like having a party, and it was nice. So yeah, I just felt like I needed to include that album. It's a good album, you should listen to it, and I really hope that will come out on vinyl so that I can buy it on vinyl. But now to the actual list. And album number 10 is this. It's Fiona Apple with Vegetable Cutters. This is one of those albums that I prefer listening to on a physical copy. It might be me, but I kind of listen to music in a different way when I listen to it on the record player. It feels like more of a thing. And I like the design on this as well. This is how it looks. And there are some excellent lyrics on this album. I think my favorite line is from Vegetable Cutters, the song, which is, I grew up in the shoes that they told me I could fill, shoes that were not meant for running up that hill. I think that's just so cool writing. So yeah, great album. Fiona Apple is super cool, and I'm so happy that she has another release out. I wish I could be as cool as her. Number 9 is The Strokes with the new Abnormal, which I think is just a really good title for an album from 2020. And the design is really cool for this as well. It's like a see-through kind of sleeve, and then the album is on the inside. But yeah, this is a really cool album. I will just say that for all of them. But what I like about this is that it sounds like The Strokes, which is, of course it should, because it is. But one of my friends said about Julian Casablancas on one of the other new releases that it sounded like he had forgotten that he was actually Julian Casablancas and that his band was actually The Strokes. So it just sounded like someone who really wanted to be The Strokes but didn't quite pull it off. But for this, I feel like they're pulling it off again. And there are some really cool tracks on this one, and I feel like it fits the 2020 vibe without being too much like, oh, 2020, we're so sick of it, because we're all sick of it and I'm kind of sick of hearing it. But this is another approach and I appreciate that. Number 8 is Soccer Mommy with Color Theory, and this is the design. This is actually an album that I picked up based on the cover because I really like the cover design. I think it looks really cool. cool. And there's just something about the font and the color combinations and stuff, so it was just really appealing to me. But then I listened to it, and it's great. And I have a thing for bedroom pop. It's just so calming and nice, and I like just having it on like a soundtrack. But I feel like this should be listened to like properly as well, not just as a soundtrack in the background, because there are some really good songwriting on here. My favorite songs are Bloodstream, which is the first track, and Stain, which is also a really good song. Number 7 is Phoebe Bridgers. And this is the album. It's called Punisher, and it looks cool. I think I'm sitting closer to the camera than I usually am in these videos because I'm really struggling to show off the albums. But it's really pretty on the inside. And also the songs are really pretty. I must admit that I had not listened to Phoebe Bridgers before she was featured on one of the 1975 songs. But I liked her voice and I decided to check out her music, and I'm really glad that I did. When I listen to this, I just get super inspired to write. I have a note on my phone called Rolodex of Feelings, where I just put down everything that I might use in a song or in other kinds of writing. And when I'm listening to this, I just have to pull up my phone all the time and just write little things that I'm thinking about. And it's not like I'm writing her lyrics, it's just that the way that she writes lyrics and the way that she sings them kind of make my mind go into this place where I just really want to write stuff. So super inspirational and pretty and good. Yeah. Number 7 is Paris with Use Me. This is it. Very cool album. And I've been following Paris since the beginning, and they started out as kind of more like a pop-punk thing, but I really like the direction that they're going in, and I just like following them as they evolve. And I think that their lyrics are getting better, which I really enjoy. On this album, my favorite songs are Good to Be Alive and Loveless. They're not like typical Paris songs, but I just think they're really beautiful and good. And I really enjoy how the vocals are layered in like a lot of different layers, and yeah, how it's all mixed together. I think it's very nice. Nicely done. Number 5 is Super Bloom by Ashton Irvin. This is it. Very nice design. This is the back. Super nice. So Ashton Irvin is the drummer from 5 Seconds of Summer, and I'm not like a super fan of 5 Seconds of Summer. I just think that it's fun. But when I heard that Ashton Irvin was making a solo album, I was really intrigued, and then I saw all of his like aesthetics, and they're just really cool. He just captures this 90s vibe in a really good way. And I first saw the music video for Skinny Skinny, which is really powerful, and I got super excited for the album, and it did not disappoint. Very nice design. Very nice green vinyl. Super pretty. Ooh. I think my favorite songs are Have You Found What You're Looking For and Greyhound and Drive. There are some songs on here that are almost like 60s, 70s inspired, and I'm not too into that, but a lot of people are. But that's why this album is not higher up on my list, because I feel like the songs that I do really like, they could go, you know, all the way up there. And I'm super excited to follow Ashton Irvin and see what he does. I hope he'll make more solo music and maybe bring some of this vibe into 5 Seconds of Summer, maybe. That could be cool. So yeah, cool album, cool guy. Number 4 is Pearl Jam. This is Gigaton, as I would like to say it in Norwegian. I don't know how I'm really supposed to pronounce it. It's a good album, nevertheless. At first I listened to it and I felt like it kind of lacked the big songs. But after I just let it kind of marinate in my brain for a while, I put it on the record player when I was going to do some things around the house, drill some things into the walls and stuff. And I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't start drilling because I got really caught up in listening to the songs. And then I suddenly realized that all of these songs are big songs, and it was nice. Looks very cool. It's like shiny, ooh, and that's always great. The songs themselves are also shiny and cool. So the third album is Hayley Williams, Petals for Armor. This is so good. It doesn't really sound like Paramore, which I consider a good thing, although I do have a special place in my heart for Paramore. But I really enjoy the direction that she's going in and how she uses her voice in a different way. This is also a case of really cool mixing and just like layering vocals in a really nice way, so I really enjoy that. And she also has some great bass lines. I don't know who plays bass for her on this album. Maybe I should have done research on that. That probably says inside of this. But some really cool bass lines and some really cool songs. And yeah, great album. I did say it was hard this year, but I didn't expect to forget one of my absolute favorites. But Rina Sawayama released her album Sawayama, which is absolute gold, literally, because the vinyl is golden. But yeah, that is an amazing album, and I just needed to include it, even though that makes this list a bit too long. But I hope you don't mind. You should really check her out. All of her videos and everything are just like really well made and cool. So yeah. Number 2, it's Grimes, and this is also an album that I have trouble with pronouncing. It's Miss Anthropocene. Yeah? I am not a native speaker, so you will have to excuse me. There are a lot of things that I will remember 2024, but one of the most pleasant things from 2020 is that this is the year that I discovered Grimes, and I love her. And this album is amazing. This is the old cover, of course. She just recently changed the cover art to the design that she originally wanted but was advised not to use, and that's really cool. But I do really like this design here, so I don't mind having this on my physical copy. And the whole visual experience is just really thorough and goes great together with the songs. And I think I will have to talk about the vocal layering here as well. I guess I have a thing. But Grimes, of course, is a master of layering vocal tracks and just like mixing them in different ways and making it sound really cohesive but still kind of weird, and yeah. I am really inspired by her as a producer, and maybe someday I can try and make some things like this myself. That would be cool. We have reached the #1 album. I don't think you will be that surprised, but the #1 album this year is the 1975 Notes in a Conditional Form. This is the picture disc edition, so it looks a bit different from the other design. It's just very nice and brown. This is the back of it. Cool. And the discs are, of course, really cool and nice. That's a good way of showing off your vinyl, Ida. Thank you, Ida. Woo. But yeah, this had to be the first place for me because, can I say that it redefines the album genre without sounding pretentious? I don't think I can, but I will say it anyway, and then you will have to just think that I'm pretentious. It redefines the album genre, and it just takes what they do with all of their album releases and just bring it a bit further with a lot of good standalone songs, but also how it's all put together with all of these intermission things, and yeah. And it's also strangely relevant, although it wasn't made as a quarantine album, but it very well could have been, so they lucked out on that one, I guess. And it did define a big part of 2020 for me, so yeah. very good album. So that was my top 10 list of 2020. Let me know what your top 10 list was or what your favorite album was of this year. And if you have heard any of these albums, let me know what you think. I guess that's it. This will also be my last video for 2020. So I just want to say thank you for watching my videos this year and for hanging out with me. And I want to wish you a happy new year that hopefully will be a lot better than the one that we're leaving behind. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, because it really helps me out. And let me know what you thought in the comments, and subscribe if you're new and all of these things. I really appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!